Hi, I'm Sally. I'm an animal lover, a music lover, and a music lover of all kinds, and both kinds, country and western. But hey, don't hold that against me, all right? I think that going back in terms of the types of discrimination that I faced is that in the first part of my life, I went to an all-boys school, and it was very much expected that you would be the sporting hero, that you would be masculine, not show emotions, not sensitive. And so there was this, we'll say, feminine and or female part wanting to express itself, but that was not a good or safe place to do it. And I copped a lot of stigma and a lot of bullying, in particular for pretty much all of years 7 and 8, for not being, we'll say, the standard masculine male. Particular examples of discrimination. I mean, well, that's maybe because, obviously early on I did experience discrimination, that people sort of denying who I am, and one that was really critical was when I got to the really critical point of needing help after trying to shove aside the truth about my gender identity for years. I did go to a health professional who tried so-called conversion therapy on me, which is probably about as discriminatory as it could get, because at that point I was at a pretty low state. I had no, to be honest, real self-esteem, and at the time I needed it most, I was actually being pushed further in the wrong direction, further away from who I was, and that was, quite horrendous. There's one, and it's a difficult one to talk about, in that one day, or evening to be precise, I was driving in my car, minding my own business, and I was stopped at a set of lights. 2 pedestrians came across in front of me and for some reason started banging on my car, yelling at me, which was sort of, I was a bit shaken by that. So when the lights changed and I moved off and I realised I was shaken, I pulled over to the side of the road. And the next thing I knew, and this is really, obviously distressing to recount, but also, I can understand that people hearing this might be distressed, that one of the pedestrians put his fist through the closed driver's side window and shattered it, punched me in the side of the head and face 6 times, and just walked off. And I spent the night in the emergency ward of a public hospital. And the other situation that I still can't deal with is I won't go to the footy, because after I came out and was for living 2.5 years, we'll say, before making a permanent transition, when I was going and hearing phrases like, "Oh, you're playing like a girl, you're playing like a poofter," that was really off-putting when I was still, say, at a somewhat tender stage. And, come on, to deny someone going to the footy and doing ball, yes, that's not Australian, to deny someone that. So I think, I really would like to see some change in that, and to be able to go along and cheer my team. I won't say which one it is, so that we can keep 16 out of 16 people and not lose 15 out of 16 of our listeners. Discrimination's really has impacted on me in terms of mental health, depression, that sort of thing, because how can it help to have a really critical part of you being devalued and often really severely be told that, oh, you're not really who you are, you don't know your own life. I'd really love it where it got to a situation where a transgender person, or anyone who identifies as gay or needs to identify as gay or lesbian or bisexual or intersex as well, could walk into any health professional in Australia and know that they're going to get a basic level of support. Because what happened to me with the first health professional, who was doing very much the wrong thing, was that the only thing that saved me was I had a supportive friend. The person I spoke to put me through to a psychologist who said, "Look, I can't help you, but I know someone who's just done their masters in sexuality and gender and could." And that was the turning point, which was great. I think if the world didn't have discrimination against transgender and similar groups, I think it would be amazing. And one of my big personal transgender heroines is a woman by the name of Lynn Conway, and she basically invented made a significant breakthrough in multiprocessing in computers. We would not have any of the computers, laptops and smartphones that we have now without her. So, and she had to go through discrimination. So if we didn't have the discrimination, we might have a heck of a lot more genius and amazement in the world, which would be fantastic.